How's it going, everybody? It's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's time for Bitesize Leeds, probably your last Bitesize Leeds until summer, if I'm honest with you, because I'm just going to be talking about the January transfer window and how it went for Leeds United, or how it didn't go for Leeds United. Apologies for the lack of content over the last few days. I have been away for a few nights with my girlfriend, that's why I haven't kind of spoken much about the window or anything that happened on deadline day or what didn't happen on deadline day. Again, I will say, it has been a very frustrating January for Leeds, but we'll talk about it in this video and then we're not going to discuss it until the summer. How about that? So just before I get into it, smash that like button, please subscribe and share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's get into it then, the January window. So yeah, as I said just then, it's been a very frustrating one, especially the injuries that Leeds United have got at the minute, having to rely on young kids that are maybe not quite ready to play at this level, but we're having to put our trust in them at the minute. There's Phillips, Cooper, Cresswell, Shackleton, Bamford, all crucial players injured at the minute, which isn't great. So I thought, I said it at the end of last year, even in the month of January, I said, come on, we'll sign some players and we'll be okay. But that wasn't to be, unfortunately. Now, one thing that I just want to touch upon, by the way, if I do start ranting in this, I do apologise in advance. It's just it's really frustrating. We're fixated on one player again. Brenden Aaronson is that player. Now, again, I understand why Leeds were linked with him. Really good player. Can play anywhere across that midfield in more of an attacking sense rather than defensive. One of their best players. They wanted to keep hold of him. Obviously, they've got the Champions League. They've got a good league campaign. We put 15 million in, they said no. We put 20 million in, they said no. Then it kind of came out that we were trying to get a deal but to sign him in summer, which for me was pointless because we need him now. We've got injuries now. We need depth now. I just think to put it all on signing him in summer is a huge risk because I think we'll stay up still. Like, despite everything that I'm about to say in this video, guys, I do still think Leeds will stay up. I know other teams around us have strengthened, but I still think that when our injured players do come back, that we will be okay. But I still think it's a risk to leave Aaronson while the summer, because if he continues as he's going and finishes this season in a strong way, there's going to be other teams from England and teams around Europe interested, and he could go somewhere else. And then we'll be kicking ourselves again. There was Boubacar Kamara, a player that we were linked with for a bit in this window. They valued him at 10 million, which would have been an absolute steal. Scum were interested in him as well. He can play as a number 6, but anywhere around that midfield. So he would have been a good replacement for Calvin at this minute in time while Calvin gets back. Again, we didn't go for him for whatever reason. We didn't feel it. Well, Bielsa didn't feel that that he is the right fit. Speaking of not the right fit, it came out, didn't it, yesterday, that apparently either on deadline day itself or at some point during the window, Bielsa was offered Van der Beek from Man U and Harry Winks from Tottenham, both on loan. Now, regardless of what you think of these players or if you rate them or not on a personal level, they are proven players in the Premier League from good clubs in this league, and he still didn't think that they were the right fit. Now, I love Bielsa. I'm not Bielsa out for any second. I am not. But I have to question that decision. My personal standpoint on each of these players is I wouldn't have rated Harry Winks at Leeds. I just don't think he'd have been a Bielsa type player. But Van der Beek, I think how Man United have treated him is a disgrace. is such a good player. They're playing McFred ahead of him, and they're both shocking. Van der Beek is better than them two, and he wasn't given a chance. In a Bielsa system, playing week in, week out for Leeds United, Donny van der Beek, even if it was just until the end of the season, he would have been amazing in a Leeds United shirt, in my opinion. But he ended up going to Everton on loan. You know, they signed Ali as well. Dele Alli from Spurs on deadline day. Everton, you know, they've got Lampard now, which makes that game in about a week and a half's time even more special. If we can beat Everton away with Lampard in charge, that'll be amazing. But that's another upload for next week there. But yeah, Van der Beek chose to go to Everton to play it under Lampard. Fair enough. But yeah, I do feel that it had just been an amazing signing. I don't get what Bielsa wants. He always says that he wants players that are going to be better than our first team. Now, there's definitely players in that first team that Van der Beek is better than. I know it's a different position altogether, but just as an all-round footballer, he's better than Tyler Roberts. But Bielsa keeps putting this weird trust and faith in Tyler Roberts. I don't see it myself. If it were up to me, I'd sell Roberts. And yeah, I won't lose a minute's sleep over it. I think Click this season, when I say isn't cutting it, he has played well of late, in fairness, but it's a bit inconsistent because he didn't play well at the start of the season. I think Click's going to be a player that could potentially get phased out of our team, especially in summer. If he stays in summer, I think he'll be a bench player, because I think the fact that we've not signed anyone in January means that we're going to go big this summer. Once we stay up, let's be honest, Rafinha's probably going to go in summer. How he's playing for Brazil at the minute on the international stage. Yes, he's going to sign a new deal at Leeds, but that's just so that we can get a bigger fee for him. Phillips, I think if Bielsa leaves in summer, I think Phillips will go as well. So we'll make decent money from Phillips and Rafinha. If we can get another good coach in, sign some players, I think we can still kick on and be a decent Premier League team. This season we've just been riddled with injuries. We've been hit hard by injuries, suspensions, COVID. If we'd have had all of our players fit consistently this season, we'd be at least mid-table, higher up the league by now. But we aren't, and we've just got to deal with it now. I've seen a lot of negative tweets on Twitter, and I've seen people post stuff on Facebook, Instagram. And yeah, I can understand people's frustrations. I'm frustrated as well, believe me. I'm frustrated that we've not signed anyone. But I do still think that we're going to stay up. I think once our players are back, even the way we've been playing recently, forget the result against Newcastle. We battered Newcastle. Like, we did. In my opinion, anyway. I was at the game. Newcastle didn't do a lot, but they did what they had to do. They scored. They defended really well. And Leeds just, in front of goal, Leeds just lacked. Questionable subs in that game, I think, cost us. But anyway, enough about that. But yeah, I do think Leeds will stay up. Now, yes, Newcastle used their budget and signed really well. Everton have got El Ghazi, Van der Beek and Ali with Lampard as the coach. Burnley signed that Wolfsburg striker. I get it. I get why people are having a look at these other clubs signing players and thinking, why aren't we? But I still think we're going to stay up. Even if it's 17th, I do believe Leeds will stay up. But I think we'll finish higher up the league than what we are now. We're 15th at the minute. I think once Calvin's back, in that midfield, once Bamford can hopefully get fit, I think we'll be absolutely fine. If Cooper comes back and walks straight into our team, then it's quite clear that Bielsa is all about loyalty more than actually winning games, in my opinion. Because Pascal Struijk, for me, is our number one centre-back. And then his partner at centre-back should either be Koch or Llorente. I would personally play Cresswell ahead of Liam Cooper. I would. And I think Cooper's only just slightly ahead of Hjelde, just because we've not seen enough of Hjelde. But if Hjelde had have played as much, and if we'd have seen as much of him as what we have Cresswell, then he'd be ahead of Cooper as well. Cooper's been a great captain. He's a good bloke. He's Leeds. He gets the club. But long term, some of these players that, you know, they're hitting 30 plus, and you need to move them on and get good players in that are going to help us consolidate and help us stay a Premier League club. And yeah, I get that. That's tough for some people to hear. You know, the likes of, by the way, I am saying that these players need phasing out now, but in next season or two, you're looking at Ayling, Dallas, Click, Cooper. You know, all these players that have been with us for quite some time will probably be moved on over the next few years, and then we'll get more in. I'm expecting a massive overhaul in summer. I think there's going to be some players leave and some players coming in, and it's going to be for the better, 100%. Whether Calvin or Rafinha go, for me, lies on if Bielsa stays or not. I don't think Bielsa will stay, but Calvin said that he's happy at Leeds and that he isn't interested about leaving. Rafinha said that as well, but I don't know. I don't want to think about that yet because it hasn't happened. But in terms of the transfer window, guys, look, it's over now. We've just got to pick ourselves up. We've got to finish the rest of the season as strong as possible. And then, as I said, consolidate in summer, work out a plan. And hopefully, you know, the fact we've not signed anyone this window means that there's going to be some big spending in summer. And I really, really hope so. And not just for Leeds' sake, but for the fans' sake, you know, because there's a lot of frustrated fans at the minute, and I appreciate that. But like I said, try and stay positive, try and stay upbeat, because Leeds are going to stay up. We're going to sign players in summer, and we'll get Champions League next season. No, but you know, look, all I'm saying is stay positive, guys. Keep supporting every player that puts that shirt on. And yeah, hopefully we can finish the season well, and we'll sign players in the summer. And yeah, that's it. So we're not talking about this window now then, guys. It's all done. It's over with. Let's look ahead now. That's all I can say. So before I continue to chat absolute waffle, smash that like button. Please subscribe and share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in my next upload. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.